Hi, I'm Lorenzo from iMerit, and today I want to talk to you about the workflow functionality of Ango Hub. Now, whenever a project manager creates a new project in Ango Hub, they can also choose to completely customize the entire data labeling pipeline from start to end. And this is where the workflow feature comes into play, which you see on screen here. So it's actually a very powerful feature under the hood because it allows complete customization of the data labeling pipeline, but it's also very simple and easy to use and doesn't require any coding knowledge. It's just a drag and drop window like you see on screen here. So today I wanted to go through very quickly some of the features of workflow and exactly what you can do with it. I'll also show you a realistic example from a realistic project in which workflow is used very heavily. So all tasks in workflow flow from the left to the right. So everything you see here is a stage. Each little widget is a stage through which labeling tasks will flow. So the moment a new asset, a new file is uploaded into Ango Hub, it will start from the left, so from the start stage right here, and will flow towards the right. Now, in this specific case, what will happen is we upload a new asset, a new file. It will go to a consensus stage where it will be shown to two different annotators. If then they label in a way that agrees with one another, so if their annotations are similar, then they get sent to complete, so right to the export. Otherwise, they will be sent to a review stage. If the reviewer accepts them, it will be sent to complete. If the reviewer rejects the labeling task, then it will get sent to the consensus again to be relabeled. But this is just one example of the many things that can be done. So let me quickly show what kind of stages and what kind of options project managers have to manage the data labeling pipeline in Ango Hub. So they can choose to have labeling stages where an annotator is shown an asset that will be piped in through the input. They will annotate it, and when they click on submit to submit their annotation, it will be sent through the output. We also have review stages where tasks passed in the input will be shown to people with the role of reviewer. They then have the choice of accepting the task, or they have the choice to reject the task as not done or done wrong. So in this case, we can say if the task is done well, we can send it to complete. If the task is not done well, we can send it back to labeling again. Project managers also have the choice of a consensus stage, so they can show the same asset to more than one annotator at the same time. Ango Hub will then calculate how much the labels agree with one another, how much they are similar to one another, and will return a number from 0% to 100%. Project managers can then go through the settings here and choose exactly how much they would like for the annotations to agree with one another, and then send the resulting task either through agreement if they are similar enough, or through disagreement if they're not similar enough. Perhaps one of the most powerful stages in the workflow is the logic stage, which we'll see again in a little bit. But the logic stage essentially allows project managers to pipe and conditionally separate tasks as they come in. So a new task will come in through the input. So for example, let's say that a labeler has labeled a task. It will then get sent to the logic stage. And we have a couple of different options we can use in the logic stage. So for example, we can choose to output a task from the true output if it's been labeled for more or less than 10 seconds, for example. We can also output tasks conditionally according to who annotated them. So we can say, if this person annotated this task, then please send it to review. Otherwise, don't send it to review. So this is something that we can do in workflow. We can also have tasks go through a random sampling. So sometimes we don't want to review all tasks because that's very time consuming and expensive. And so what we want to do is pick a 5% sample to send to review. This can be customer review or our own internal review, so to speak. So we can click here, choose random sample and say 5%. So in this case, 5% of tasks will be sent to review and the others will be sent to complete. We also have the choice of picking an annotation type. So in this case, if we know that a labeling task has to have a particular label and it doesn't have it, then there's something wrong. So we can say, okay, if this label does not exist, then please send it to review. if it does exist, then it's good to go and it can go to the export. So the logical stage is very powerful. I'll show you a more complex example in a little bit involving the logic stage. We have then the plugin stage. Now, plugins are a topic on their own in Ango Hub. They're extremely powerful, and you can think of them as browser extensions, but for Ango Hub. So you can integrate your own code. You can integrate third-party machine learning models, third-party APIs, and pretty much anything you could do with our SDK and Python, you can do it within plugins. So the plugin workflow stage allows you to put the plugin into the workflow and integrate it. So for example, what you could do is you could have a plugin process every single task, every single asset that gets uploaded into Ango Hub, and then send it to label. So what this will do is, let's assume, for example, I have a SAM plugin, segment anything model. So this is a machine learning model that segments images as they see it. So what will happen here is I will upload new assets to Ango Hub. They will be pre-labeled by SAM, and then they will be sent to the labeler. So the labeler doesn't have to start from scratch. They can start with what the machine learning model has already created. Another use for plugins in workflow is if we put them after the labeling stage. So we can have the labeling stage be first and then the plugin stage be second. What this will do is we can have the plugin review and make corrections to the annotations made by the annotator. And these are just a few of the examples of what plugins can do in Ango Hub. Last but not least, we have the webhook stage, which is used more by developers, but whenever a task is plugged into the webhook stage and it gets passed into it, a notification will be sent from Ango Hub. So developers of scripts using our SDK can use these notifications to be in the known whenever a new task is labeled or reviewed, for example, and they can use this in their programming workflow. So this is a fairly simple workflow view that you see here, but let me show you a realistic example in which workflow is used. So this is a workflow that has seen use in actual labeling tasks. So what we have here is we have a start stage. So all assets always start here whenever they get first uploaded. They then get sent to a labeling stage, which means that all annotators in the project will label the tasks as they get uploaded. We then have two groups of annotators. So we have a group of annotators which let's say they're more trusted annotators, and a group which are less trusted annotators. So group A, which is a group of most trusted annotators, we don't want to review each and every one of their labeling tasks because we know they are more trusted. So what we've done is we've created a filter here. So this logic stage is acting as a filter, and it's sending only 20% of their tasks to quality control. Whereas the annotator group B is the least trusted group of annotators, and we want 100% of their tasks to be sent to review. So what we've done here is if an annotator is part of group B, then it will be sent to this 100% sampling logic stage. So this is an example of how you can use the logic stage to separate between groups of annotators, between more trusted and less trusted. Okay, so all of the tasks that we've just sent to review get sent here to the quality control stage. So once tasks get into the review stage, if they are rejected, they go back to being labeled once more. So they get reset and get sent back to the labeling pipeline. But if they're accepted, then they get sent to an internal auditing sampling. So we can choose 5% of these tasks to get sent to a specific review stage in which only our own, let's say, internal, most trusted reviewers or managers or solution architects can go and personally conduct an audit on a very small sample of the annotations. Then if the audit passes, then they get sent to complete, so they're good to go. If the audit is rejected, they get sent to quality control once more so that they can have a look once again. And of course, throughout this entire process, all the users can leave comments so that the next reviewer knows exactly what to look for. We also have a very small client auditing sample here. So we can send 0.5% of tasks to the client to a review stage, which is only accessible to the client. So the client, whenever they want to, they can log into Ango Hub and they can see a very small sample of tasks, and they can leave comments on the tasks, telling us how the annotators can do better, for example, or what they've done well. And if the client accepts the task, then it gets sent to the export. If they reject the task, again, it gets sent to quality control once again. So yeah, this was a overview of workflow, all of the stages that we have available, as well as an example of a realistic use case of workflow in a labeling pipeline. So I hope this video was useful, and thank you very much for watching.